Good evening and welcome to the Selectmen meeting for June 11th, 2025 for the town of Buxton. I'll call this meeting to order at 7 o'clock. First order on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Approval of prior meeting minutes. We only can approve May 25th, 2025.
May 28th.
28th.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor? That's 3, with 2 abstaining. Oh, absent.
Absent.
We'll have to do June 4th next week. The people that were here, there's not a quorum. Okay, we're gonna read the paving and crack seal bids. The first one is Shaw Brothers from Gorham. And the price per ton is $94.90. I announced I was opening the paving bids. The second one is Allstate Construction. And their bid is $104.25 per ton. Third bid is from Dayton Sand and Gravel. And their bid is $89 even per ton. So we'll go over these with Public Works Director and make sure they're all in order and make an announcement next week. Now we have the crack sealer. The first bid is Pro Sealer LLC from Waterville.
You say Pro Seal?
Pro Sealer. And price per gallon is $55.70. The second bid is CRR from Westbrook. And their price is $23 a gallon with a minimum of 350 gallons per shift. So again, we will talk to the transfer station, Public Works, and announce that next week. Discussions held between 4 and 7. At 4 o'clock, Bill Hall and Hunter Cox were in. Talked about changing a couple of things in the personnel policy, and that was about it. At 5:30, we had an interview with a new person to take over accounts receivables.
Accounts payable.
Accounts payable, okay. And at 6 o'clock, our code enforcement, Patty McKenna came in. We had quite a conversation about a few of the properties around town that are getting a little bit overfilled with junk. So she has sent out some requests to get them cleaned up, and we'll go from there. Projects and issues. Frank?
Not a lot for me last week. I was in the office a couple of days in the beginning of the week, but I wound up leaving town on Thursday, so.
Okay. Chad?
Yeah, I spoke with our fire chief and our assistant fire chief this week, just about a couple of different things going on around town. Not a lot leading right up to this weekend, answering some questions that people had about the upcoming town meeting as we finish that on Saturday, but that was the bulk of the week.
I was over to the transfer station for a few minutes. I spoke with Bill Hall, our treasurer, and was down to Public Works. They put some new signs up for us down Pleasant Point that had been knocked down, and they've just been doing some road work along the side, cutting brush and things like that, till they get a new budget. Old business, the town is doing a sealed bid offer for a 91 GMC utility truck and a 2005 GMC C85 plow truck. Information is available on the town website, newsfeed. Sealed bids must be received at the town hall by June 14th, marked as 91 GMC utility truck bid or 2005 GMC plow truck bid. Selectmen reserve the right to reject any or all bids. Any new business? Executive orders. Executive order 2425-0601. In order to accept $1,000 from Narragansett One Foundation for the Children's Summer Reading Program at the Berry Memorial Library.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor? That's 3 with 2 absent. Executive Order 2425-0602, an order approving an abatement for a personal property tax for 2024-2025, account 92, in the amount of $40.66.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor? That's 3 with 2 absent. Executive Order 2425-0603, in order to approve an application for a veteran's exemption for MAP 11, Lot 34-8.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor? That's 3 with 2 absent. Any executive orders by initiative?
No.
Accounts payable and payroll warrant. Executive Order 2425-0604, in order approving expenditures as documented in payroll warrant 100.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor? That's 3 with 2 absent, and that amount is $105,088.74. Executive Order 2425-0605, in order approving expenditures as documented in accounts payable warrant 101.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor? That's 3 with 2 absent, and that amount is $46,451.60. Next meeting of the boards, the next selectmen meeting will be Wednesday, June 18th, 2025 at 7 p.m. The next planning board meeting will be held Monday, June 23rd, 2025 at 7 p.m. The annual town meeting will be held Saturday, June 4th,
14th.
2025 at 9 a.m. here in this building. Any other business?
No.
Public questions and comments?
Go to the podium.
Good evening. My name is Michael McDonald. I live at 121 Mary Jane. I have a problem with the noise that has been there. It was there all last summer. And now it's back again. It's a generator running constantly. It runs 24/7. As soon as it runs out, somebody comes out of the house, jets up to the gas station, comes back, fills it back up, and starts it right back up. My wife and I have to, if we sleep in the home, we have to sleep with earplugs in. It's so loud. Our bedroom is about 25 feet, I'm guessing, from this generator. We don't sleep there anymore. We sleep here. We sleep in your parking lot, in our camper van, because we can't sleep there. The noise is getting louder. The barons are going in the generator. Sometimes they're screeching from the generator. Let's see. I have consulted with a lawyer, asking for help, reaching out. I've called code enforcement. They're on it. They're doing the best they can. I need help. The lawyer quoted me $20,000 to get rid of the problem. The problem would never come back. Told me 2 weeks it could be done. I can't afford that. I can't. Let's see. The other problem I have with this neighbor, there's a constant run of vehicles coming in and out of their driveway. They're approximately 2 to 3 minutes, and then they leave. Something's going on over there. I don't know what. But there's anywhere between 10 and 15 vehicles a day that go in there and come out of there. Sometimes there's days there isn't any. But most days are on the weekends, Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays. I can't even use my backyard. This Father's Day, I'm spending it at my son's house. So I'm asking for help.
Okay, we did have a discussion tonight with the code enforcement. And Patty, would you like to tell them what we are going to do?
What we have already done.
What we've already done?
Can I do it from here?
No, you need to go to the podium.
So last week, I sent a letter, which the person received. A few days after I sent the letter, I called her. She said she would shut the generator off at night, which I don't believe she's doing. Today, I typed another letter because when I talked to her, she explained how she had the generator hooked up, backfeeding it through the dryer plug. And she told me that because she can't move it out back because her plug, where she plugs it into the dryer, is not long enough. She is exceeding the noise level. We tested that week before last. A little bit for the daytime hours by about 4 decibels, and so at night it would be 14 decibels. So I typed a letter today telling her she's in violation of the National Electric Code for the way she's unsafely using that generator, which could cause harm to fire or police or anybody going to that property. It could actually give a shock through the ground. So I had this letter, and she's also in violation of the noise ordinance. I asked police department to hand deliver this letter because I felt it was unsafe enough not to have to wait for a registered mail, which they did today. They explained it to her today. CMP was also notified because it can be dangerous if it backfeeds into their equipment. So if we don't get relief immediately, and that's what this letter asks for, I will go to a judge and try to get an injunction, and that is the most we can do, other than take her to court, which takes time. We could take her to court because she's violating nuisance law, state law, noise ordinance, and the electric code. But if we can get a judge to realize it's unsafe and give us an injunction, that would be the quickest way. And that, I feel like that's as much as I can do.
Does that answer any of your question?
It does.
Okay. When we, all, as a board, we feel very firm on that.
So she shouldn't be using that tonight, correct?
Correct, because it said immediately.
So when I go back home, it should be shut off?
If she honors this enforcement order.
I hope she does. She hasn't in the past.
So we are taking it serious,
Absolutely.
and for a number of reasons, safety, your safety, everybody's safety. And we'll go from there. And sorry you have to put up with it.
Thank you.
Anybody else have a question or a comment?
Michael Pettis, 1088 River Road. Just a quick clarification on the paving prices and quotes. Is that coming out of this year's budget, or is that out of the new budget?
It's a new budget.
Well,
Last
come on.
year's paving's done. This starts July 1st.
The new one starts July 1st, right? So this one is coming out from last year's?
No,
Oh, it's coming out in the new one?
correct.
Right. They've already paved last year. They've spent all last year's money.
Okay.
I can't, they did a whole bunch of side streets on
Yeah,
112,
yeah.
some in West Buxton. All the money they had.
Yeah, because I know he talked about it a lot during the budget hearings. And, he gave us information as to where he was thinking it was going to be done, when, and all that. So I just wasn't sure if that was the new budget or the
This
existing
is for
budget.
this summer's
July.
paving.
Okay, all right. That was it on that. The other thing I wanted to say is, first of all, I appreciate all the people that came out and voted yesterday. It was nice to see it turn out. Secondly, I was hoping Mark was going to be here, but I just wanted to thank Mark for his service. If I understand right, 14 years?
Yeah, I think,
14 years. And I've been on the budget committee almost 6 years, and working with the selectmen, and especially with Mark, has been, sometimes there's a little headbutting, but I think we respect each other enough that we've been able to work together and come up with a budget for the town that is fiscally responsible. We're not overspending. There was a lot of comments put out on Facebook prior to this election that had consistently wrong information. One of the biggest items was the transfer station. There were people out there posting it was closing. When I went on and asked these people where they got the information from, nobody responded to me. I even went on and explained what the process was going to be. And Tom Peters, he actually caved in and said that's exactly how it's gonna go. For some reason, I don't know how this whole thing with the transfer station started, but people are confused with the trash pickup. And I think there's been enough meetings and enough information out there that, if people had questions or concerns, they should contact the selectmen and not go on Facebook and put out something that's not accurate. I feel bad that there was so much stuff out there, not only just geared towards the selectmen as a group, but also as individuals, which I don't think that should have it in place in a town election. I just think everybody has their view, they're entitled to their opinion, no matter what it is. If you think it's right or wrong, they're entitled to it. But to come out and make comments as, the selectmen are the yes spend group, yes spending, I think that's what it was. Almost like you guys never say no. And little do they know, if they were here during the budget, you would actually see where the selectmen have reduced the department's budgets by quite a bit. So it's not like they submit a budget and they get everything they want. That's not the way it goes. And even during the negotiations with the budget committee, there's also additional changes that happen. So there's a lot of information that they can obtain if they attended the meetings, attended the town meeting in June, contacted one of you guys just for information. And I think the turnout this year had a lot to do with all that misinformation. I think people just didn't know. So instead of asking the questions, producing the information that's accurate, there were several people out there who were just listing things that were totally wrong. And I hope, moving forward, that more people get involved in the meetings and ask questions, and that we don't have another election year like we had this year. Thank you.
Mark was here earlier, and he had to leave to go back to Augusta for a vote tonight, so, but he was here today, and
Thank you, Michael.
thank you. Anybody else?
Dave Harmon, Buxton. Do you have anything for about the transfer station and the trash pickup and all that? And you said last week that there was going to be something put out. Is that going to be put out just at the town meeting or?
At town meeting,
At
yeah.
town meeting.
Okay. I would have thought it would be handed out a little bit earlier so people could look at it, but that's just my thoughts. A lot of people aren't coming to town meeting, but there were people here yesterday to vote. So that would have been a good time to pass it out, get more people. Last week, there was a name mentioned for an interview for the accounts payable. I didn't really think that the names should be given out.
I didn't give it out tonight.
No.
I just said we did interviews.
But the money that was voted on last week to accept, and I had said something that we normally have an article that states that the selectmen will accept any and all grants and this and that and the other thing. There was one for the police department for a drone, and it was more or less a specific amount, $22,200 and some dollars. It wasn't just $22,000 or $23,000. It was almost. So my question is, was that, evidently it was turned in ahead of time, so they knew that that's what they were looking for. But and that was given, is that just for the piece of equipment, or is that for training? Because you're going to be trained to fly one of those
For
things.
training,
That's for everything.
everything,
Everything?
yes.
Okay.
That's why it's probably an odd amount.
Okay. I don't go on Facebook or anything like that. This was face-to-face with somebody, and they said to me, and I don't know whether I should actually bring it out or not, but I'm gonna, the land that the town is trying to purchase, they heard that it was for a public works, or not public works, a public safety building.
No, that's incorrect.
No, wrong end of town.
If we get it, we have a committee looking into a public safety building, and that will go to the voters. If the voters agree to put this public safety building in, we're probably going to bond that. And if it goes through and it gets bonded, it's going to be in the center of town.
And the school district does have land there that they're willing to sell us, so it will be in the.
We have a little bit of land in the center of town, but it's not enough.
Trying to think of what else there was. The money for the drone, the papers for the transfer station trash pickup. No, I guess that's it. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Heath Knight, Buxton. I just want to say thank you to everybody that came out and voted yesterday. It was quite a turnout. I mean, I stood out there for 5 hours shaking hands. I say thank you to everybody that voted for me. As of right now, I'm the newly selected selectman. I just want to again say thank you to everybody. And the gentleman, Mike, that was speaking about, you know, people, all this disinformation on social media. It's just crazy how it gets out there and people actually believe it. Again, I agree with him 100%. People need to come to these meetings and actually speak to the selectmen and talk to the other townspeople to find out what's really going on and not just rely on Facebook and social media. As a town, we need to get together and actually discuss all this stuff. Really all I got to say. So thank you very much.
Anybody else? Seeing none, I will call for an adjournment at 7:30.
So moved.
All those in favor? That's 3 with 2 absent. Have a safe week, and hopefully we'll see you Saturday morning at the annual town meeting, and we'll get a budget. Thank you.